Welcome to Life Recovery Today, brought to you by New Life. If you're feeling stuck in addiction, grief, anxiety, or broken relationships, you're not alone. Over the next half hour, you'll discover practical tools and biblical truth from the 12 steps of life recovery, designed to help you heal, grow, and thrive. Because recovery isn't just about what you're giving up, it's about who you're becoming. Whether you're new to recovery or looking to go deeper, we have resources to guide you. Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and real stories of transformation. You can start your journey today on your own, in a group, or through your church. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to take the next step. This is your time for healing, hope, and freedom. This is Life Recovery Today.
Hi there, Steve Arterburn here, and welcome to Life Recovery Today. So glad you've joined me, and I hope you're joining me in recovery. If you're not, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and we'll help you. Now, we're really very grateful to share some insights about recovery, some different ideas and concepts. And I hope that, this really matters in your journey. And today, I'm going to talk about something that has the potential to change everything in recovery. Recovery is for everyone and every person. No matter what you've gotten into, you have to do this for your own sake, not for somebody else. We're going to talk about forgiveness. We're going to explore forgiveness. Now, the reason that I think people are so surprised at the weight that forgiveness has on recovery is because they've maybe attempted it and said it, but it didn't really mean anything. A lot of times we're trying to help other people deal with stuff, and so we say we forgive. But it takes more than that. It's really important that we go through a whole process so we fully forgive. And here's the thing. It's not for them. You're not benefiting them, you're benefiting yourself. If I have real estate up in my head that's just saturated with bitterness and resentment over something that was done to me, I got to get rid of that real estate. I got to sell it. I need a vacant lot there versus that. And so if you don't complete this process, then you're always giving space for the person that hurt you the most. So if we really want to be free, and in recovery, we have to forgive. Now, it's complicated because sometimes we need to forgive God, even though He didn't do anything, but we think like, well, you could have prevented it, that kind of thing. And we have to forgive the person, and we have to forgive ourselves for not seeing what might happen, what might have been up ahead. All of that is involved in forgiveness. And in forgiveness, we have true freedom. Think about how many years of bitterness and resentment have caused early death, health problems, and just general misery. I don't want that in my life, and I hope and pray that you don't want that either. Because we talk about recovery, we're talking about working a program, not reading a program. And I hope that this is going to give you some great insight on working a very vital part of recovery. So let's watch and listen to this. F does not stand for forget. F stands for forgiveness. And the old saying, forgive and forget, is really a stupid saying. Because if I forgive somebody of something and then I forget it, boy, am I ever setting myself up to be hurt again. I'll tell you what a lot of people think forgive means. They think it means to excuse something or to endorse something. Well, it doesn't. And a lot of people think that forgiving is something I do for somebody. Absolutely not. You do it for yourself because you can't control what they're going to do. And also, forgiveness doesn't mean that I'm going to restore my relationship. We're going to have a wonderful experience going forward. No, it does not. Forgiveness that I do doesn't create a trustworthy person over there. So when we forgive, what do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need to acknowledge something. that the person that caused the pain that I have now has given me two things that are painful. Number one, you betrayed me, or you hurt me, or you lied to me, whatever it is. Now that produces pain. And I now, according to Ephesians, I think it's 4:32, I need to forgive others as I've been forgiven. So I've got a responsibility to forgive. So I've got the pain of whatever happened and the pain of forgiving. There really are kind of 4 P's to the forgiveness process. And the first one would be pain. I need to experience the pain that has been presented to me. Now, just to be simple, if I go out and get a 5th of whiskey and drink that down, then I don't have to experience the pain then, and then it just drags on. So I have to become an alcoholic because I'm drinking a 5th of whiskey every day, and then I've still got unresolved forgiveness issues. So the first thing I want to do is embrace the pain. I want to feel it, don't kill it, numb it, project it onto something else, just go through it. And boy, does it ever help to have somebody to, second P, protest to. Yeah, you're going to express yourself to whoever hurt you, probably, but you sure do need a wonderful counselor, a professional that can handle the protests that you need to be doing. I can't believe I got hurt so badly. You know, when I was married before, my wife thought it would be a really good idea to have an affair, and then I would confront her and she divorced me. Wow, that was really, really painful. And I had to go through that pain, and I had to have somebody that I could protest to. Now, I thought maybe we'd get back together or something, but no. But here's the thing. Someone referred me to a book called Surviving an Affair. And in there, it said you have every right to say to the person that hurt you, you're mean, or I hate you, or whatever. And every time you get together, if you're doing that, then there is no hope for you to ever reconcile if you want to. And it doesn't do any good anyway. It just gives them power, a sense of control and presence in your life. So what you want to do is have that counselor to protest to. Also, going through something like divorce care would be a good idea. But when we have been hurt, we simply have to have somebody to talk to or to protest to. Now, many times it's not some act that's done in an adult life. Sometimes it's the adult that wasn't there, the parent, or it's the adult that was abusive a long time ago and we've never forgiven. Well, it's never too late. So we want to experience the pain that maybe we've been delaying, putting off. We want to protest to a really, really good counselor. And then we want to ask ourselves eventually a question. It's the third P, progress. Am I making progress in forgiving? Now, when I forgive somebody, and I'm pretty good at forgiving somebody, it's my agreement, I don't tell them this, but it's my agreement to never bring it up to them unless, well, of course, they were untrustworthy again, and then absolutely I'd bring it up saying, well, that's the second time, or that's the third time. But progress is when I'm not even thinking much about it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to think about it from time to time. Or you could be triggered by something, and all that anger and bitterness comes back up. That doesn't mean you haven't forgiven. It just means that you've been triggered. And the longer you go between the hurt and making some progress, the less time it should be, or fewer times that you're going to be triggered by whatever it is. Okay? So we have pain, protest, and we make some progress. But if we're not making progress, we really do need to do some major, major work. You know, the next letter we're going to do is the G letter, and it stands for grief, and that's what you have to go back to and do if you're not able to forgive. Now, there's a fourth P. and that is purpose. I don't think God wants to waste any of that pain that you've experienced over being betrayed or abandoned, neglected, whatever it is. And so when we're able to truly forgive, when we've processed it and it's all done, when we're able to truly be in a forgiving place and the person is forgiven, now we can look at, well, what's the purpose of this? Well, at New Life, we do a whole weekend called Restore, which helps a person who's been betrayed by somebody who has a sexual integrity problem. Now, I don't know that we'd be doing that if I hadn't had that happen to me, and I wasn't so sensitive to the people that have been victimized by a person with a sexual integrity problem. So we do Restore. And when I've spoken at that event, I have literally wept because I feel so much of the pain that they feel. I connect with them so much. And so when I'm there, you could say I'm triggered back into some bitterness. Not really, though. I'm just remembering that pain, how horrible it is. And I'm empathizing with them because I've been through it. Because I do think that's a greater purpose that's come out of the hurt. So that maybe I could be sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate toward people, and then we at New Life could have this wonderful weekend experience called Restore. Forgiveness. It's not excusing. It's not something you do for them. It's God's gift to you because it sets you free from that pain. But I have met people, literally on the radio the other day, I'm thinking about a woman, angry, bitter, resentful because of her husband and what he did 20 years ago. For 20 years, think of the real estate that he owned in her head that he had no business owning. Think of the control of her life, the influence on her that really should have never been there. So finally, maybe after 20 years, she went through what she could have gone through just about 20 years prior. I hope that wherever you are, if someone has hurt you, that you'll begin the process of forgiveness, experiencing that pain, finding the person you have to protest to, experiencing progress, and then a new purpose coming out of it. One final note. Sometimes the toughest person to forgive is yourself. And that's where you maybe need to start. If you are riddled with regret and wishing you'd done this and all that, start with you. Now, the only person that could be more difficult to forgive is God. Now, God has never done anything wrong, but sometimes we hold a grudge against God because we thought He was supposed to prevent something or fix something, and it didn't get prevented, didn't get fixed. Well, if you look at Scripture, it's pretty easy to see that we're not in that garden anymore. Horrible things happen, and no matter what happens, God's still there for you, loving you, caring for you, and forgiving you so that maybe you could forgive Him, maybe you could forgive somebody else.
Are you going through your struggles alone? Do you want someone to talk to help you through your pain? Do you feel like a failure when you relapse again, telling yourself, next time will be different? Don't walk this path alone anymore. Join a life recovery group today and be a person that your friends and family can be proud of. God created us to be in community, and we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country, and if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. Life Recovery brings recovery to you, right where you are. You'll take a journey with others to find healing and freedom. Whether you're looking to join a group or start one, New Life Ministries is here for you. Visit newlife.com/groups or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Life recovery isn't just about making the courageous choice to give up an addiction or dependency. It's a journey towards health, wholeness, and becoming your very best you. If you need resources to help you in your journey, we can help. There are many life recovery resources that you can do on your own, with a group, or with your church. We have Bibles, workbooks, and devotionals that you can use to work your recovery right where you are. That's the beauty of Life Recovery. To learn more or to get the Life Recovery Bible or any other Life Recovery resource, visit liferecoverytoday.net or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Welcome back. Well, hopefully you were able to identify some areas that really need work to forgive. Maybe there was just something that's a little key to open a little door that ends up leading to a whole lot of freedom. You know, something that we all experience is loss. Whether it's loss from just this evil fallen world, or we lose something because we blew it or somebody hurt us. There's loss. You know, if you didn't have a great parent, then there's grief work to be done over not having the parent, or essentially losing the parent that you deserved that would have made things different. Well, a lot of times people don't realize how important it is to grieve, because it's painful when we're going through all of the loss. But it's a gift. The pain of grief is a gift. If I go through a grieving process, and we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to present some work for you. If I go through a grieving process, then I'm going to express my anger, my sadness, all of that. I call it being paingry, pain and anger all at the same time. If I can do that now, I'm not going to feel that the same way a year from now. And so many times we meet people, they're still in pain and still have never done the grief work. So I hope this is going to really encourage you and shed some light on the grief that needs to be done and the hope that can come from it. Let's give a watch and a listen. There it is, the letter G. I love doing calligraphy. Didn't do such a great job here. But anyway, it's G for grief. In the previous episode, when we focused on F and forgiveness, I talked about, sometimes people don't fully forgive because they've missed a step. And the step that they miss is grieving. A lot of times someone says, hey, you need to be forgiving because that's what Jesus did. And, so you're thinking, okay, I'm supposed to forgive that someone murdered my child instantly? Do that? Doesn't work. The only way a person could, I think, ever forgive, truly forgive, if there's a major loss like that, is to go through the grieving process. So let's look at some things about grief. I've said before that perhaps the epidemic of the Christian community, well, I've certainly said it's pornography, but also ungrieved losses. Because there's so many superficial, unrealistic expectations that are put on Christians that are in pain. And other people will throw them at you because they want to feel better about themselves. So they just want you to forgive and forget, get on with your life. But what you really need to do is to grieve. In the grieving process, we experience agony. So why don't people grieve, fully grieve? They don't want to go through agony. And that's what it's all about. That agony, it's all about sadness over the loss. And here's another big one. I can't change it. I can't get it back. There's nothing I can't bring this person, if it's a death, bring them back to life. I can't make this marriage over again. That's a big part of that agony. Irreversibility of what's happened. Oh my goodness. I've told this so many times about paying for an abortion, and I really believe that when I woke up to what I had done, it was like the first major thing ever in my life where I realized I cannot undo this. And that was agony. So we have to go through that. And that's why people will do some superficial statement about forgiveness or whatever, or they'll just live in bitterness versus experience the agony that will get you out of bitterness. Grieving is expression of emotion and unacceptable emotions in many Christian circles. And so you have to have a safe place or a safe person to do this with. And what we're talking about here is I'm going to be angry that I don't have something that I wanted. If someone molested me when I was younger, they've taken my innocence. They've taken time before I was sexualized. And I have to grieve that. And who wouldn't be angry about that? I've seen so many wonderful organizations crop up that help people who are surviving abuse, especially sexual abuse or assault. And they help them process and to grieve and get that anger out, express exactly what they're feeling. And that's such a great thing. The more anger I can express over here, the more agony I can go through here, the less I have to drag along with me. Now, I didn't really understand that until this horrible betrayal happened to me. And then I realized I'm either going to experience it all right here, or I'm just going to continue to experience it over and over again. Now, I started to notice people that they would talk about something and it would seem like it was yesterday. And I just felt so bad for them because they were still in that place of anger, hurt, agony, all of that. You know, when a parent loses a child, well, I don't think you're ever truly the same. But if you do the work and you go through that painful grieving process and you get support from other parents who've been through this with you, eventually that healing process plus time, one day you're going to wake up and realize, well, now maybe I'm having a few more better days than bad days. Good days over bad. But you're still going to have some really bad days. But that's progress that you're making. So if we're going to fully grieve, we've got to express all of our emotions, our disappointment. We might need to write letters we never send to somebody. We might need to scream and yell or cry. But we want to do it with somebody that can help us to contain all of that while we express all of that and help us to understand where it came from and why we don't want that to be the dominating force of our life going forward. I do know this. The older we get, the more loss, the more hurt, and the more we're going to need to grieve. So the younger you are when you start that grieving process, the better it is. Pretty sad not to be a grieving person in a world that's full of hurt. But eventually, you know, we grieve and we become aware of a new world that is without whatever it is that we've had. You know, we've been through the agony and the anger, and now we wake up, okay, here's my new world. If you're a widow, like my mom, my dad died very early, and so she had to wake up to, here's my life, and I've got to learn some things that I don't know how to do because he's never, ever going to be here. And that awareness, you know, it certainly is a painful awareness of this is the different life. It'll never be the same, but it's doable. I am competent enough to get through it. But I need to be aware of what it is I need to do. If my spouse did all of the bookkeeping, then I've got to figure that out. Hire somebody, or I've got to become my own bookkeeper, whatever it is. I'm aware of that. If I'm in a couples group, then I have to be aware that I'm not going to be in that group anymore. They're not going to desert me or abandon me, but I'm no longer a couple. And to become aware of that means I'm not showing up at places where maybe it would be time to show up at a different place. I want to tell you a sad thing. I was in a Baptist church, and the couples group met up on the second floor in this amazing, big, huge area where everybody could meet and greet and talk, and then they'd do the Sunday school lesson and they'd have great music and everything. But the divorced folks, the single divorced folks, literally, not kidding, met in the basement near the boiler room of that church. Is that a horrible thing? But look, if I'm aware of that, I'm not going to be shocked by that. And I can come to the fourth thing in my life after I grieve and while grieving is the word acceptance. I come to accept a new life that I'm aware of. And I can live in this. God is going to be with me. God will comfort me. I've got to have support around me, even though in the beginning I'm irritated by anything and everything people say. I need a counselor. I might need to go to grief group and go through grief care at a church. But I come to this place of acceptance, and I know I'm going to be okay. It's going to be a lot of pain maybe, but I'll get better. I'll get through it, and I'll get beyond it. If I don't try to stuff those feelings, don't try to deny those feelings, numb them, whatever it is. Grief indicates there's been a loss, a horrible loss, and it might just be a natural death or whatever. It could be a tragedy that compounds the grief. But whatever it is, just know this: God is there for you, wants to comfort you. And He says that I comfort you so that you in turn one day can comfort others who are going through what you've been through. Thank you for joining me today. I hope there's some new insight into forgiveness and grief that you obtained right here. You're going to be working through it. Great tool. If you've got a Life Recovery Bible and you get this Life Recovery Workbook for grief, it's working the 12 steps to take you through the grieving process. Can really be helpful. You can get it at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Of course, we have another one for sexual integrity, another one for divorce, and another special workbook for eating disorders. All available, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But you don't have to need a workbook to call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll help you in any way possible. We've got a kit to help you start a life recovery group. We've got great encouragement, a person designated just to deal with whatever it is that you need to know about life recovery. God bless you, and I pray that you're going to have a great day today, no matter what. See you next time.
Thanks for joining us for Life Recovery Today, where we believe your past doesn't have to define your future. If you're ready to take the next step, we're here to help with Bibles, workbooks, devotionals, and more. Visit newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Your journey to healing and freedom can start right now. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay courageous, and keep moving forward.